Tashmad Srila Bhaktivedānta Narayan Gosvāmī Māhārāja Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashatashmad Srila Bhaktivedānta Vāmana Gosvāmī Māhārāja ki jai. Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashatashmad Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Māhārāja Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashatashmad Srila Bhakti Pragya Gosvāmī Māhārāja ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashatashmad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gaurksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Padadash Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandal Gaura Mandal Vraja Mandal Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhish Shripadata Giriraj Raj ki jai. Shri Radkunda Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Dandavat Pranams, Ganga Didi and Madhavi Didi. Always the first ones. Alright, so I guess we should just begin. Letter 13. This is a letter written to Umadidi. These are topics. Shri Guru and Bhagavan's incomparable mercy, the power of humility, the detriment of pride, giving up bad association and offences, deliberations on guru-tattva, the speciality of madhura-rasa. This is written from Golok Ganja Gaudiya Math in 1972. Assam. Snehaspadasu, Ma Uma, Shri Guru, the Vaishnavas, and Shri Bhagavan. These three are omniscient. They are antaryami. That's whenever it says omniscient, the word being used is antaryami. They are seers of the truth and speakers of the truth. The causeless compassion they extend to the conditioned soul in ways that are unfathomable for them is truly incomparable to anything else in this world. A soul who possesses sufficient spiritual merit can grasp something of their unsurpassed compassion. Shri Guru and Bhagavan see into the heart. To unfold the inner love and devotion of the sadhaks and sadhikas, Shri Guru and Shri Bhagavan fulfill their desires in ways known and unknown, and in this way solidify their conviction in sadhan bhajan. If one does not become exclusively dedicated to bhajan, where is the chance one will reap any real result? Uttam hoya apanare mane trinadham. An exalted person deems himself more insignificant than a piece of straw. This mentality itself is the qualification or criterion for obtaining the mercy of Shri Guru and Bhagavan. If the inclination for devotion fails, is there any scope for unsolicited mercy? Unconditional mercy is not subject to stipulations, but in a state bereft of devotion, it is not attainable. Yogya vichare kichu nahi pai, tomar karuna sar. When I consider my eligibility, I find nothing. Your compassion is essential. This is the prayer of sadhaks and sadhikas expressing their humility. Though established in full qualification to attain Sri Guru and Bhagavan's grace, the devotee is accustomed to expressing such natural humility, and that is his virtue or wealth that he has accrued from spiritual practice, and it is this that is the devotee's prowess. As long as mundane conceit and egotism remain, causeless mercy is something one fails to realize. That is what inhibits the fulfillment of one's longing to serve, and one fails to feel Sri Guru and Bhagavan's omniscience. It is when the conditioned soul is gripped by mundane vanity that he becomes trapped in foolish arrogance, like the frog that puffs itself up until it bursts, thinking its little earthen dish is the whole of the earth. Those who have found shelter, however, overcome all obstacles and adversities on the strength of bhakti and shine with the divine, unsurpassable compassion of Sri Guru and Bhagavan. Ashoka abhay, amrita adhar, tomara charana dvai. Tahate ekon, vishrama labhya, charinu bhavera bhai. Have found solace now at your 2 feet, which, being the foundations of our immortality, rid one of sorrow and fear, I have shed my mortal terror. This is the ardent prayer of a devotee who is resolute in his conviction to serve. Shri Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan tinere smarana hoy vigna vinashan. Remembrance of Shri Guru, Vaishnavas and Bhagavan destroys all obstacles. Extolling their qualities cleanses the heart and eradicates all the vices and impediments related to bhajan. Those who are sincerely absorbed in hearing, chanting, and remembering the glories of Sri Guru and Bhagavan cannot Those who are sincerely absorbed in chanting and remembering the glories of Sri Guru and Bhagavan cannot retain any vanity or egotism. Initiated into the Dharma, honoring all others with no expectation of respect, they have already abandoned all these adversities to bhajan. This is a conclusive fact. Vaishnavera gunagan korile jivera tran. Singing the Vaishnav's glories delivers the living entity. According to this statement, it is essential to offer prayers, praises, and hymns to Sri Guru and Vaishnavas, even though they are equipoised and content in their own achievements. Svainaiva labhena samam prashantam. Those who have taken shelter at the feet of a genuine guru have already deserted bad company, because only by establishing themselves in proper conduct could they have proceeded to accept a guru. Once strong conviction in bhajan comes, one abandons all types of bad association, no matter how near and dear those persons may be, knowing them to be svajanakya dasyu, dacoits calling themselves relatives. Let me just reread that, sorry. Once strong conviction in bhajan comes, one abandons all types of bad association, no matter how near and dear those persons may be, knowing them to be svajanakya dasyu, dacoits calling themselves relatives. If you are to walk the path of bhajan, you must certainly be wary of offences, but retreating will not do. Aparadha shunya hoye loho Krishna nam. Be devoid of offences and take the name of Krishna. This is Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's instruction. Niraparadhe nama loile pai premadhan. If one utters the holy name without offense, one attains the wealth of divine love. Prem dhana vina vyartha daridra jivan. Without the wealth of divine love, this life is worthless and destitute. This is why it is to stay far away from the blasphemy of saintly persons, the scriptures, and guru. Although in preliminary stages one may be chanting the holy name with some offences, by the grace of Sri Nam Prabhu, all offences are dispelled. Guru Mata, Guru Pita, Guru Hanapati. Guru is mother, Guru is father, Guru is husband. There is nothing in the statement of the Mahajans that is opposed to the established philosophical conclusions or flawed by any improper sentiment of rasabhas. Gurudev is Ashray Vigraha, the personified abode of divine love. He is Sri Bhagavan's beloved maidservant. The principle of Sri Guru is that of Shakti, potency, or Prakriti, divine feminine nature. Teaching others to serve Sri Bhagavan is his natural function. He is a Gopika, one else serve under the directions of the Sakis. In the pastimes of Sri Bhagavan, who is a supreme enjoyer, and Vijaya Vigraha, the personified object of divine love, he is a beloved, highly adept in amorous service. Chorata purusha bhiman kinkari hoilo ajikan varaja vipine saki sat sevana karabo radhanath. Abandoning my male ego, today I have become your maidservant, O Khan. In the forest of Raj, in the company of the Sakis, I will serve you, O Radhanath. This is the natural position of perfected souls. Outwardly, though garbed in male form, they are Sakis, girlfriends, or dasis, maidservants, who have achieved the mood of gopis. Facility sports the lila vilas of the transcendental ever-fresh Cupid is their sole service. This footnote is different than that number, is bigger. Okay, sorry. One must know Sri Gurudev to be Bhagavat Swarup, the form of God. But when Sri Bhagavan himself descends in the form of Guru, then he is resolutely Vishaya Vigraha. Though he acts like the Ashray Vigraha, he is in truth the supreme enjoyer and object of all service. In that case, why would it be wrong to address Guru as Pati, husband or protector? Guru is one indivisible principle, but in discerning that principle, there are different specialities or wondrous features. Husband. Let me highlight this. I need to ask this. Okay. Guru is one indivisible principle, but in discerning that principle, there are different specialities or wondrous features. There are various designations, such as Antaryami, Supersoul, Chaita, Inner Guide, and Mahant Guru, the saint or religious figure. I have to look this up also, because I think it's Chaita Guru. I'll look it up. Okay, later on. Thus, if one is addressing that indivisible total principle, there is no fault in referring to that Vishaya Vigraha Sri Krishna Chandra, who is Purushottam, the supreme male, as Pati, even when he manifests his pastimes as the Ashray Vigraha. The Vaishnav stalwarts have written the above verse after thorough deliberation of the aspects of guru-tattva. Furthermore, the love shared by a husband and wife is quite different from the nurturing affection a mother and father have for their child. No matter how old a son or daughter gets, in the eyes of the mother and father, he or she will always be the beneficiary of their affection, or in other words, junior. Between a husband and wife, however, there is a level field. They are the same. The equality among friends, even though they are like one life, one soul, still retains a sense of inequity. In Vatsalya Bhav also, there are a sense of younger and older, one party being the dependent, the other being the caregiver. But in conjugal love, there is no intervening distance, even though some rules and restrictions on it. Sevya sevaka sambhoge dvayorbe takuto bhavet vipralambitu sarvasa bheda sadavivardate. In the union of master and servant, where is the difference between them? In separation, however, there is an ever-increasing disparity. This verse substantiates the intimacy and equality that exists between husband and wife. This is why when we offer tulsi leaves at the feet of Shri Krishna's form that is embraced by Shri Radha, we are offering tulsi at Radharani's feet. But when their forms are separate, Shri Radha cannot accept tulsi at her feet. And so there's a footnote here. In other words, the only time we offer tulsi leaves at the feet of Srimati Radhika, when we offer them at Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet. On the other hand, you see in this mundane world, there are differences between male and female. In Goloka Vrindavan, Purushottam Shri Krishna is the only male, and all others are his Shakti, or Sevikas, female servants. The Gita scripture states that the jiva is Shakti, and it's therefore the jiva is Shakti and is therefore an abstract noun, or in other words, a characteristic or function of Sri Bhagavan. Hence, it is never possible for the jiva to be the enjoyer. In the material world, a woman or wife experiences 3 stages of life, as daughter, as wife, and as mother. Each of these 3 stages has specialities and differences. As daughter and mother, there are exchanges of parental affection, and as a wife, the advent of amorous love. The mood of servitude exists within each rvati, in dasya, sakya, vatsalya, and madhura. Yet each ras has its own unique speciality. So in the case of Akhanda Purna guru-tattva, the indivisible complete principle of Sri Guru, if one were to use the word pati, it must be understood to be directed strictly toward the Vishaya Vigraha. Full submission of the self is the exclusive aim of every sadhak and sadhika. If fullness does not come in sadhan, Bhagavan will be very far away. Draupadi as well as the Vraj Kumaris are evidence of this. Your eternal well-wisher, Shri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. Let me just check here. Haribo Prajumna Prabhu Dandavat Pranams and Dandavat Pranams Rohit Radha Krishnan and Rukmini Didi. Mirabai said that, huh? It's strange, there's this like bot that's coming on YouTube every day. And like yesterday, there's a bunch of people, all these weird messages. I have no idea what that's about. And Happy New Year, Prajumna Prabhu, and everybody else. Alright, so now letter 14. Topics. The real purpose of fasting. The superiority of bhakti. The difference between Hinduism and Vaishnavism. The power of sadhu sangha. How to recognize true sadhus. Another letter to Umadidi. 1 second. Hare Krishna. I'm just checking to make sure that it's this mic working and not. I was curious if this is my computer mic or actually this mic, because I don't have. Umadidi has my headphones, so I don't have a way to. Okay, it is this one. Alright. Snehaspadasu. This is written to Umadidi in 1972. Ma Uma, from today, this full moon day, Chaturmasya Vrat starts. Bearing in their hearts the memory of Srila Sanatana Gosvāmī, the Sri Keshav Saraswat Gaudiya Vaishnavas always observe this Vrat. I hope that you too are ready to follow in the footsteps of the Sri Gaudiya Vedanta and observe this Vrat with one pointed focus. You are already acquainted with the rules and prohibitions for observing Chaturmasya Vrat and have also become accustomed to following it. Needless to say, you should definitely give up greens in the month of Shravan, yogurt in the month of Bhadra, milk during Ashwin, and Amish during Kartik. And there's a footnote. Amish means meat, especially raw flesh, but can also refer to high-protein foods like urad dal and sesame seeds are to greasy, delectable foods as well. Yeah, I got really confused on this when I was working. I was like, don't eat meat during Kartik? Okay. Besides these items, bottle gourd, eggplant, I don't know how you say that word, basela, vine spinach, pointed gourd, asparagus beans, lima beans, split red lentil, black gram, and water spinach are totally forbidden for all 4 months. I have no idea what asparagus beans are. And yeah, I've never heard any of these, huh? Well, I never heard of basela. And I don't know what pointed gourd is. Anyways, lima beans I knew about. Split red lentil. That's Mysore dal? Black gram. I didn't know about that one either. And water spinach. I don't even know what water spinach is. Sadhaks and sadhikas who desire to attain bhakti make every endeavor to please Krishna by relinquishing all of these foodstuffs during this vrat. The core purpose of observing fasts and holy days is the pleasure of the Lord. Sri Bhagavan does not accept any sort of service from either bhoga-tyagis, who artificially reject enjoyment, or from tyaga-tyagis, who neglect their vows of renunciation. The bhakta is neither a bhogi nor a tyagi. The kukarmis, kugyanis, and kuyogis, corrupt or misguided, are incapable of appreciating and beholding the transcendental efforts devotees make in the service of Bhagavan and the beauty of their bhakti. In a life of service, the devotees' every act and behavior, every move they make, every habit and prudence, even everything they wear and adorn themselves with, are considered favorable to bhakti. The purpose of karma is bhakti. The purpose of jnana is to experience what one has heard about one's cherished objective, or, in other words, bhakti. The purpose of yoga is to be utilized and united in the service of Sri Bhagavan, which is bhakti. Bhakti and service, the two are synonymous. That is why only the devotees of Bhagavan are established in the genuine dharma of service. The service to living entities that are kukarmis The service to living entities kukarmis invoke is a deceit born of unrealistic fantasy. The terms jiva seva, service to other entities, and jiva prem, eternal love for other entities, are fictions, contrary to conclusive truth, and are illogical. One will never attain the results of service to Sri Bhagavan by serving the conditioned soul's gross senses and becoming a regular purveyor of their bodily and mental demands. Purveyor means a person who sells or deals in particular goods. A person or group who spreads or promotes an idea, a view. Okay, it's referring to the first one here. A person who sells or deals in particular goods. Yeah. One can never attain a transcendental life of service by that which is inert or loving the illusory objects produced by Maya. The soul bound by Maya and deprived of Bhagavan's service is preoccupied with serving inert objects, whereas the devotee of Vishnu, centered on Sri Bhagavan, is ascendant on the path of bhakti. One individual indulges in the results of his actions. The other endeavors only to please Krishna and is favorably absorbed in Krishna. Living within Daiva Varnashram Dharma, the devotee of Bhagavan takes refuge of Sanatan Dharma, whereas the non-devotee is devoid of devotion to Vishnu and identifies as a Panchopasaki, a worshipper of the 5 main Hindu deities. I think that doesn't need to be in square brackets, that can be parentheses. So that person identifies as a Panchopasaki, a pantheist, a nihilist, or a Mayavadi. Ordinary human beings earn themselves the designations Hindu and Smarta by regarding Sri Bhagavan, who is beyond 3 modes of material nature, and beyond time itself, as just another entity who, although special, is nonetheless bound by the fruits of action. That is why the scriptures have noted two types of human society, namely Daiva, godly, and Asura, demoniac. Demoniac persons who are evil, foolish, abominable humans whose knowledge has been stolen by illusion and are absorbed in atheism do not accept the shelter of Sri Bhagavan, and they degrade themselves by ridiculing and disregarding the devotees of Vishnu. In order to propagate these virtuous truths and philosophical conclusions, scripture is recorded in sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic versions, thus accommodating for and substantiating the behavioral differences between devotees and non-devotees. In some regions of India, due to the prevalence of certain demoniac forms, nasham, panchupasana, etc., the infrastructure of society has suffered decline. But the difference in speciality of Sanatana Sattva Smriti, eternal spiritual tradition, versus Jada Smriti, mundane tradition, is well established. Instead of considering the welfare of society, those who are bereft of devotion to Vishnu and uncivilized have created a mess in the world by propagating the notion of impersonal monism. They have attacked the pure conduct of Vaishnavas, which must be followed by the devotees, and therefore the Vaishnavacharyas who found the authentic philosophical schools, the Sat Sampradayas, have had to give special consideration to the welfare of spiritual society. By propagating proper devotional conduct and distributing bona fide spiritual texts, they have kept Vaishnava philosophical conclusions intact. The sole motive in observing I'm having a hard time reading all this. The sole motive in observing fasts for such vrats is devotion to Bhagavan. Yoga, connection with Bhagavan, is accepted as having greater significance than simply honoring a specific holy day. Only fasting, abstaining from food and drink, does not constitute the observance of vrat. Properly hearing and reciting Harikatha, studying and discussing Sri Bhagavat and other Sattvata scriptures, chanting a fixed amount of Shrinam, and engaging in Bhagavan's service and other such activities favorable to Bhakti comprise the exclusive aim and duty of observing Chaturmasya Vrat. It is by cultivating these activities that one attains the actual fruit of observing the Vrat. Sattvata says, prior to the now popular designation of Vaishnav, various sects who held Vishnu as the supreme deity were referred to as Sattvata, drawing on traditions of the Yadu dynasty itself, of whom one Sattvat, son of Devakshatara, was a renowned king. Krishna himself is also known as Sattvat. Interesting. Why are all these definitions in square brackets? I thought I changed all those, but I guess I didn't. Okay. Alright. It is by cultivating these activities that one attains the actual fruit of observing the Bhakti. Compelled by the egotism of I and mine, souls and Maya undergo endless suffering in this material existence. Many, becoming selfish, whimsical, immortal, and lawless, are creating chaos in the world. Meanwhile, those of mankind who have turned towards God, becoming desperate for Sri Bhagavan's mercy, adopt the path of negation and, by means of the yoga of renunciation, develop a fervor to serve Hrishikesh, the Lord of the senses, with all their senses and a mood of propitious devotion. Simple-hearted sadhaks and sadhikas who believe in the words of sadhu, scripture, and guru are able to take to heart the super excellence of bhakti. Ku-karmis, ku-gyanis, and ku-yogis can never arrive at an adequate philosophical conclusion or determination by a theoretical logic. Only those who, with the help of faith, perform bhajan of Sri Krishna with all their heart and soul are bhakti yogis, and only to them is the truth of Bhagavan self-manifest. By the effect of genuine saintly company, one gains experiential understanding of the truths of Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojan. Besides the association of sadhus and the mercy of a bona fide guru, there is no other path by which one can obtain immaculate knowledge of the truth. The flaws of previous impressions and education account for the different proclivities perceived in man. For the souls trapped in Maya, the association of sadhus is the greatest medicine. Yet, if a person is seen to have no eagerness for that association, it is indicative of particular misfortune and the worst of luck. If spiritual merit is lacking, there occurs a delay in attaining the company of genuine sadhus. For those who have performed sadhana, long A? Okay, I have to look this up. For those who have performed sadhana in previous lives or in this life, it is easily obtainable. Okay. Sadhus and saintly personalities are always present in the world. If they are not present, the wheel of this world cannot revolve in its orderly fashion. Only if one makes the effort does one become eligible to behold them and attain their mercy. Vishvase milaya vastu tarke bahudur. Through faith, one finds real substance, while doubt and debate put it very far away. And kashta korile Krishna mile. Only through struggle can one attain Krishna. In other words, only by practice does perfection come within reach. Living entities caught up in Maya, like lost travelers, invoke and have regard for ideas like, this is good, this is bad, this is all a mistake, thus becoming fraught with worry. The influence of sadhu sangha drives away all their doubts and uncertainties, and then they become capable of deciding which path they should truly follow. Contemplation of the sense objects and the thirst to collect such objects is the cause of bondage in Maya. Sadhu and guru can protect one from that very bondage posed by the objects of the senses. Maya re koriya jai, charana na jai, sadhu guru kripa bina na dekhi upai. It is not possible to conquer and give up Maya. I see no other solution than the mercy of sadhu and guru. Ignorance is only negated in sadhu sangha as shraddha, rati, and prem bhakti arise. When one reads spiritual texts on one's own, often one does not attain the real result of hearing and reciting Harikatha. That is why it remains imperative for one to hear the sounds issuing of sadhu and guru. Oh, that's important in one. Only within a siddha, a perfected mantra, is all potency manifest, and only that yields special results. Hence, there is more benefit and welfare contained within Harikatha issuing from the mouths of the devotees than from spiritual texts. Dry skeptics who are bereft of sadhu sangha are incapable of appreciating the necessity and attracting potency of sadhu sangha. That is why it is stated in Shastra, sadhu sangha sarva shastre koi, lava matra sadhu sange sarva siddhi hoy. All of the scriptures say that association with sadhus, even a fraction of a second in the company of sadhus, affords all perfection. Wow, this is so good. I'm going to save this one. What letter? Or I think this is letter 14. I'll save up to here. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. This saves me a lot of time having to search through. Okay, this is... Okay. Letter 14. Okay. But who is a sadhu? This needs to be determined. If you call someone a sadhu, but it turns out that they are a satsanga, bad company, then instead of auspiciousness, you will reap ruin. The words sadhu, guru, and Vaishnav and bhakta are synonymous. A saint's saintliness is not always proven by external traits. Only their inner characteristics are the real measure of their being a Vaishnav. Therefore, 26 qualities Only Krishnaika Sharanata, exclusive surrender to Krishna, is the chief characteristic of a sadhu and guru. To call a saint a rogue and a rogue a saint is a significant offence to the holy name. Tattva na pujiye jnane vaya jnane jadi asate sabakori bhakti haraino sangsari hoino sudure rohile hari. Krishna bhakta jane e sangala khane adar koribe jabe Bhakti Mahadevi Amar Hriday Asane Bosibe Tabe Yoshit Sangi Jan Krishna Bhakta Yar Duha Parihari Tava Bhaktayan Sangayanu Khan Kabe Bahoi Behari. If not understanding the truth, I reciprocate with those who are not true devotees knowingly or unknowingly, then I will lose devotion and become a materialist, and Hari will remain far away. When I honor these interactions with real devotees of Krishna, the great goddess of devotion will situate herself on the seat of my heart. I relinquish both the company of men who are obsessed with women and those who are not devotees of Krishna. O Hari, when will I have the association of your devotees at every moment? This is the irrevocable vow and prayer of one who is chanting the holy name without offences. Only if one abandons the mundane attachment to one's friends and family members. Only if one abandons the mundane attachment to one's friends and family members who are absorbed in material enjoyments, and who knows only sadhu, guru, and Vaishnavas to be one's soulmates and supreme relatives, can one attain the actual fruit of sadhu sangha. Studying and cultivating Bhagavad Gita under the guidance of a sadhu is real sadhu sangha. Bhakti only happens when one engages in hearing and reciting Krishna Katha with full faith. Shadavan Jana Hoy Bhakti Adhikari. A faithful person is eligible for devotion. Iti, your eternal well-wisher, Shri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. I really like this quote also. Who is a sadhu? This needs to be determined. I say this also. See, look at this. It's been happening every day. All these weird things. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Letter 14. Okay. Yeah, the lima bean is almost like a rajma bean. Yeah. Yeah, you're not supposed to have rajma during Chaturmasya. Nothing is possible without Bhagavan's will. Direct and indirect service are the same. Oops. Sorry. There. Okay. Direct and indirect service are the same. The special power of Bhagavan and his devotees. Bhakti cannot be attained by artificial means. The importance of taking care of one's body. This is to Umudiri, also in 1972. I think we've only read letters so far today. Snehaspadasu. Ma Uma. Mankind has the right to engage in action, but does not have the right to the fruits of those actions. This is a declaration of Gita and Bhagavat. Shripad Narayan Māhārāja and Trivikram Maharaj accepted extensive physical and mental exertion to make arrangements for a pilgrimage to the south. But ultimately, all of it was in vain and was not put to use. We can make our efforts, but without Sri Bhagavan's auspicious wish, it is not possible to reap their fruits. Krishna icha bina tahe phala nahi dhore. Without the will of Krishna, they will not bear fruit. Remember this fact, and you will console your mind and refrain from negative thoughts. I had an earnest desire to go to Sri Purushottam Dham, but in this impoverished state, how can I go there? At present, I need at least 5,000 rupees to clear the debt to the Panditji there and pay for the renovation work. I have not been able to collect even half of that. That is why I went out preaching to this region of Bihar, Dumka, on 15/9/72. But despite coming here, there has not been any significant result. Bhiksha collection is not happening as I had hoped. And on top of that, everyone is busy with the upcoming Durga Puja. You want to know when I will go to Chunchura? Shripad Narayan Maharaj contacted me by letter yesterday, wondering if I will go there or not. Yet, they have also asked me to be present in Navadvip for Srila Guru Padma's Disappearance Day festival. Once I fulfill both of these wishes, I can go to Mathura after the Viraha Utsav. He also wrote that I should go for at least a fortnight, because he too has a particular need to work on the mat. Did you and your mother not express a desire to observe Urjavrat in Mathura? If you have time, you should take advantage of the opportunity. I understand you are very upset that you are not able to use the goods you brought to Howrah station in service. What is your misfortune in this? Surely things like this do not happen because of bad luck or seva aparad. Pratyaksha, tangible, and paroksha, intangible service, are both referred to as service, are they not? If you accept the eternality of service, then you must say that both direct and indirect service are qualitatively the same. Praner arter diya vacha shreya acharanam sada. One must pursue the highest good at all times, giving one's life, wealth, intelligence, and words. According to this statement, which of these should be accepted in the paroksha, indirect way? One's life, wealth, intelligence, or words? Then again, when in the verse Kayena vacha manasendriyar va buddhyatmana vanusrita swabhavat, it is instructed to render service by body, words, mind, senses, intelligence, and thoughts, which is superior and which is inferior. Service is accepted in a variety of mediums, but the bliss of service is incessant, eternal, and true, and it forever reveals itself to the sadhak or sadhika in newer and newer ways. This is really cool. So it's not about the outcome of service also, it's the endeavor made. I don't think there's supposed to be a hyphen before va. I've never seen that before. Okay. Another word for service is bhakti, and therefore it is referred to as nitya, eternal, sanatani, primeval, shashvati, enduring, shubhada, auspicious, sudurlabha, extremely rare, and Sri Krishna Karshini, attractive to Sri Krishna. Only that which is executed solely to and for the Savior, the object of service, and offered to him, is counted as direct service. Even then, there are differences in eligibility. In order to obtain that eligibility, the sadhak or sadhika must perform sadhan bhajan and ishopasana, worship of the Supreme Lord. Guru and Vaishnavas are supremely benevolent. Their causeless mercy and selfless affection have the capacity to elevate the conditioned soul into the realm of bhajan. Their compassion and blessings are special treasure to mankind in the practice of spiritual life. The verse Tad Ashmasaram Hridaya Patetat. That verse, surely his heart is the essence of stone, metal, describes that the acceptance of Sri Nam eradicates the thunderbolt-like hardness of the stone heart. And it also describes the 8 ecstatic transformations and other symptoms as special characteristics of those who have taken shelter of Sri Nam. Scripture has Okay. I'm just wondering if this makes sense. Tarashma saram hridaya bitetam. Surely his I think this needs something more in brackets to explain this verse, because this doesn't really make sense. It should say in square brackets, he whose heart doesn't melt upon chanting Harinam, of he who doesn't chant Harinam, whose heart doesn't melt. Whatever. I'll figure it out later on. And I have to put that in square brackets. Okay, sorry. What am I doing? Oh, 1 second, and I need to make that. Thanks for your patience, everybody. Okay. Scripture has referred to Sri Bhagavan as Payoda and Varida, giver of water. He can shower the water of his mercy even in a barren salt desert and transform it into fertile ground. This is his Bhagavata, his godhood, or special capability. His devotees, the sadhus, are also capable of making certain infertile lands hospitable by showering them with the water of their compassion. As long as one has not taken shelter of performing sadhan bhajan, bad thoughts are natural, but by steadiness and enthusiasm, one will drive them away. Gradually, by performing sadhan, one will gain eligibility for the full host of all conducive good qualities. Danya daya anyeman pratishta varjan chari gune guni hoy koro ho kirtan. It should be an A. Develop the 4 qualities of humility, compassion, honor for others, and rejection of prestige and perform kirtan. This alone is the best means and the worthiness to attain the qualification to perform sadhan. Oh, just for those you're watching right now, the standard that we're doing for Bengali now is only words that you might see written in Bengali with an O, like right for koro and things like that. Lots of times, even in Bengali scripts, they write it with an O. Nowadays, then we're writing O. Otherwise, we're not doing it like totally by pronunciation. Anyways. Okay, in the matter of bhajan, it is imperative to have firm conviction in the words of Guru and Vaishnavas. Simplicity and firm faith are special limbs of sadhan. Bhakti is not attained by artificial means, which would entail the sadhak or sadhika becoming a karma jara prakrita sahajya, a pseudo-spiritualist engrossed in mundane activities. If one does not rise above this, the path of bhajan becomes obstructed, and, as a result, one becomes an offender of Srinam, Dham, and Seva. Only by devout, intimate service, seva, can one properly appreciate the mercy of Guru and Vaishnavas. And it is not a matter of the servant's prowess, but dedication to the performance of bhajan. A daughter must always be protected and nurtured. Responsibility for your ultimate spiritual welfare is and always will be mine. It is also my duty and responsibility to ensure that your body and mind, which is meant for bhajan, stay healthy. Naratanu bhajaner mool. This human body is the root of bhajan. Remember this. Shariram adyam halu dharma sadhanam. The practice of dharma starts with the body. Consider this instruction as you proceed. If the body is healthy, the execution of dharma is possible. But in doing so, it is not proper to become lazy and indulgent in bodily pleasures. It is one's duty to follow all rules and regulations properly. Please accept my auspicious wishes and blessings. What more can I say? Iti, your eternal welfare, Sri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. I like this quote. I'm going to save this one. That's really sweet, huh? This is a really nice one. Okay, I'm going to save this quote. That is from letter 15. Okay. Now, letter 16. The significance of Vijaya Dashami. Guru and Vaishnavas overlook the flaws and errors of the Kanishta. The definition of friendship. Gauri, Parvati, is not indifferent from Srimati Radhika. Disposing of the written holy name is an offence. Okay, so this is when Srila Vāmana Goswami is in Keshavji Gaudiyamat. Sadhara Sambhashana Purvikayam. Dear blank, you conveyed auspicious Vijaya Pranam. You will have to tell me in person which Vijaya that is, or what exactly is the history or account of this auspicious day. How has the significance of Vijaya Dashami been popularized throughout the world, and whom does it commemorate? Think and reflect on that. Should there be a comma there? Think and reflect on that. I don't think there should be a comma there. Okay. We honor it because the scriptures say that it is Shri Ramachandra Vijayotsav. On this day, Maryada Purushottam, exemplar for humanity, Shri Ramachandra defeated Ravana in battle. Once, Dashanana, the ten-faced, that does not need to look like that. Once Dashanana, the ten-faced, was slain, Bhagavan declared his victory and established ethics and ideal conduct in the world. Also on this day, the Acharya of the Sri Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya should be lowercase italics. The incarnation of Hanuman and Bhima, Shriman Madhva Muni, appeared, and it was he who definitively refuted Kevala Dvaita Nirvisheshavad, the doctrine of impersonal monism, by establishing Shuddha Dvaitavad, thereby ensuring the infinite spiritual welfare of the souls of this world. Hence, for Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnavas, this Vijaya Dashami is a highly regarded and important. The immaculately pure Gaudiya Vaishnavas are not part of the Karma Jada Smarta Sampradaya, the orthodox Brahmins engrossed in fruit of ritualism, nor are they Biddha Shaktas, adulterated worships of Shaktis. The Vaishnavas are the real Shaktas because they accept the simultaneous existence of Shakti and Shaktiman, potency and the potent. The Shakti Matayora Abheda aphorism of the Uttara Mimamsa school of Vedanta philosophy is the dazzling proof of that. Sri Bhagavan is not subject to Jara Maya, the material energy. He is enveloped in Yoga Maya. He is the absolute truth, endowed with the superior energy of Ladini Antaranga, his internal bliss-giving energy. Those who are deluded by regarding tattva are completely ignorant of this unborn, immutable position of the Supreme Lord. From time to time, I go to Navadvip to have the convenience of staying there for any specific period of time. The fact that you have wished to abandon the endeavor for perceptible or governable knowledge, pratyaksha or ardhyakshika gyan, and take shelter of adhoksaj gyan, knowledge beyond the purview of the senses, is an auspicious sign. Yam eva vaishya vinute tena labhyas. He is attainable by those whom he chooses. Yeah, this is an important shloka. How does it begin? Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo. Namedayana bahuna shukayena. Yameva vaishya vinute tena labhya. Tasasharatmat vivrinute tanungsam. Okay. Ishvarera kripalesha hayata jahare. That should be a ja. She ishvara tattva jani bare pare. One who has a fraction of the Lord's sea can know the truth about him. This is the avaroha, the descending path, or sharanagati, surrender. But remember, as much as sadhana is indispensable for the sadhaks and sadhikas, Bhagavan's mercy is likewise something to be prayed for dearly. Only when effort and mercy unite is perfection attained. I guess it is supposed to be sadhana, because now it's come twice. Actually, I think I remember looking this up, and it's the same word. Okay, anyways. You have asked for forgiveness because of your delay in writing your letter. Oh wait, let me just check. Is the internet still working? It is. Great. The power just went out. That's why I'm asking. Okay, you have asked for forgiveness because of your delay in writing your letter. If there has been no fault or mistake, then what scope is there for forgiveness? You did not do anything wrong. Hence, I am certain there is nothing to forgive. Sadhus and Guru do not accept any of the Kanishta's mistakes or blunders. This is their magnanimity and kindness. Everywhere they are endowed with the vision of love and are established in the dharma of expecting no honor for themselves and giving honor to all others. Guru and Vaishnavas are adosha darashi. They see no faults. They are optimists. They do not have a pessimistic view, which makes them supremely empathic, and equanimous. And any words that are underlined means that he wrote those words in English. A friend or comrade is one who endeavors for your attainment of spiritual welfare and shares in your joys and sorrows. If friends can share one life and one soul, then their friendship is authenticated. Real friendship turns into sharing the same dharma. If that is transgressed, a lack of friendship is obvious. You have agreed to forego something for your friend. This is generosity, but having understood your heart, he too should have fulfilled some of his obligation to you. Can those who are not sensitive to us be called friends or comrades? Sri Bhagavan will surely fulfill your desire to see Navadip. He attracts everyone and bestows the bliss of prem, which is why his name is Sri Krishna Chandra. Sri Gaur Hari, who is non-different from Vrajendra Nandan, will surely draw you to his Sri Dham. Do not even worry about this. May your devotion to Sri Bhagavan increase day by day by the blessings of Sri Guru and Gauranga. Ma Gauri is Vaishnavi, the potency of Vishnu, and Sanatani, the goddess of eternity. Should it be a capital G there? Don't think so. Then again, as Bhagavan's internal potency, she is herself Sarup Shakti, Srimati Sri Radharani. Another name for the prem imbued Sevarani or service is Sri Radhika Gauri, as in Ratana Singhasane Bhatalo Gauri. Upon the jeweled throne sat Gauri. There should be a hyphen here. What is the use of writing the Tarak Brahma Nam in a notebook and then disposing of it in the Ganga? If Sri Nam Brahma, God's name, which is Nada Brahma, God in sound form, or Shabda Brahma, and Nami Parabrahma, God himself, are identical principles. Their forms, both like wish-fulfilling gemstones, whole, pure, and eternal substances, can they be summoned or disposed of? The practice of writing Sri Nam is part of physical, verbal, and mental austerity. But to dispose of that in the Ganga or offer it as an oblation in the sacrificial fire is an offensive practice. Devotees of Bhagavan worship that eternal, beautiful form of eternity and bliss. There is no invoking and dispatching in their bhajan sadhan, except my affectionate blessings, iti, their eternal well-wisher, Sri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. Etiquette between Vaishnavas. Devotees are not afflicted by fear or suffering. Sri Guru and Bhagavan are our only shelter. Their mercy rids of offences and grants us the necessary qualification. This is also to Umadidi in 1972. Snehas Padasu. This is written from Devananda Gaudiya Math. Ma Uma, as guru-tattva do not possess bodies. Wow. Okay. Sorry, because oh God, that's really confusing, isn't it? Should it be does? No, but that doesn't make sense. Okay. Anyhow. Just going to highlight this. As guru-tattva do not possess bodies composed of the 5 gross elements, their illness has been referred to as a performance. Okay. The custom of inquiring about the welfare of someone's body, mind, and soul is in accordance with proper etiquette. This customary exchange of information regarding these 3 types of well-being with all of those who are objects of our affection and honor is popular in the society of sadhus and bhaktas. In letters and other forms of correspondence between Vaishnavas, prayers for their physical and spiritual well-being or all-around well-being regarding bhajan are made. Even asked about said three aspects of well-being, one does not assume any mundane quality in Guru and Vaishnavas, or declare them to be tainted by such flaw. Therefore, in this regard, there is no chance of perceiving the transcendental as material and thus committing offense. Who is not upset to hear that a loved one is sick? Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has written, Jato dekho Vaishnavera vyavahara duk, nishchaya jani hoshe parananda sukh. Whatever ordinary distress one perceives in a Vaishnav, know with certainty that it is actually the utmost ecstatic bliss. One who is imbued with bhakti, whether he is a householder or sannyasi, a scholar or a fool, is a Vaishnav. In the course of carrying out their embodied sojourns, even Vaishnavas can experience various ordinary forms of physical and mental distress. But for bhaktas, it is momentary and ultimately brings happiness. Indulgent and attached to mundane sensory objects, the non-devotees' parallel lives are ever everything to them. So when physical and mental afflictions befall them, even to a small degree, they are easily overwhelmed. This is really cool, this point. Maybe I'll see. To mitigate that suffering, it is not beyond them to even give torment to others. Jivana yantranamay maraneti sadabhoy. Life is full of suffering, and there is constant fear of death. This is the dire finale of those engrossed in material pleasures. And those who have dedicated their lives to the service of Sri Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas are not afflicted by fear or death or by suffering. They are composed and steadfast. A devotee's life is without disturbance, and he is never the cause of another's sorrow or difficulty. Jivana nirvahe ane udvega dibe para upakara sukha pasaribe. Do not give distress to anyone in the course of maintaining your life. Forgo your own happiness for the welfare of others. They are thoroughly established in this mentality, giving up worldly comforts and riches like tipping water from their palm. The devotees do not waste their time remaining perpetually fixed in their they do not waste their time remaining perpetually fixed in their bhajan. Therefore, they are fearless, undaunted, intent on the worship of eternal truth. Shri Guru and Bhagavan are the sole shelter and resort of the shelterless. This is why the practicing devotee says, Nirashrayam mam jagadisha raksha. I am without shelter, O Lord of the universe, so please protect me. And takes refuge at those sublime feet. The devotee says that, and they take refuge at this. Okay. Nirashrayera ashu akulera kul, shokete santvana tumi bhanga bhul. You are the shelter of those without shelter, my dear master. You are the shore of those adrift, the solace of those in distress, and you are the one who rectifies mistakes. Many pray in this manner also. Shri Guru and Bhagavan are affectionate to those who take shelter of them. They take care of those who are surrendered to them. Towards those who are under their guidance, their supramundane affection is natural and spontaneous. She murke vishay kene dibo. Sacharanamrita diya vishay. I am wise. Why give that full sensory pleasures? I will give him the nectar of my feet and make him forget these pleasures. This is what defines their divine parental affection. The responsibility Guru and Bhagavan accept in regard to the lives of those surrendered to them is not temporary. This connection is and everlasting. They are our friends for all eternal time. Chakshudan dila jay, janme janme prabhu she. He who has given me the eyes to see is my master, birth after birth. Those living entities still in the clutches of unwanted habits, anarthas, tend to make offences when they are in the stage of sadhan. Only their mundane speech and minds are active. Namaparada yuktanam namani eva harantyagam. Harantyagam. No, that doesn't look right. I'll have to look that up. The holy name gradually dispels all transgressions of those chances. This for them offers total and certain solace. If one is anxiously eager regarding sadhan bhajan, Sri Bhagavan, as the indwelling supersoul in everyone's heart, resolves all matters. Kakere guruda kore aiche doyamai. He is so merciful that he can turn a crow into guruda. There is no comparison to his compassion and generosity, even to those who are unqualified. Unqualified, he grants the eligibility to perform sadhan bhajan. Iti, your eternal well-wisher, Shri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. Now this is a quote from, I think, Chaitanya Bhagavat. I'll give the reference. Alright, so now we're doing the last letter for today. What time is it? 8:13. Okay. This is also to Umadidi. The eternal, let me just this. Alright. Alright. The eternal connection between guru and disciple. The speciality of the Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya's process of bhajan. I think Sri Rupanuga is supposed to be lowercase. Yeah. Oh God, I don't know. Never mind. Our only resort is to pray for mercy. The transcendent nature of Sri Guru and Vaishnavas. The speciality of inner mood and service. The mercy and punishment of Vaishnavas are equally beneficial. The meaning of Pada Sevana. So this is written in 1974. So no letters from 1973, but a ton of letters in 1972. Okay. Snehaspadasu. Ma Uma, although I promptly received all three of your letters, dated 27-273, 11-473, and 17-11-73, I am sad that I was unable to give any response by letter all this time. You wrote 3 letters, one after Sri Vyas Puja, one after Sri Navadip Dham Parikrama, and one after the South India pilgrimage. Time-wise, it has not been over a year since you wrote them. But counting by year, we have entered a new year. Oh yeah, this is written on January 4th. As it is always the eternal presence in the transcendental realm, there is no place for the past or future. There, Sri Bhagavan is eternal, his servant is eternal, and so too is service to him eternal. As the connection guru and disciple is eternal, there is no intervention of material time and space in their exchanges. Therefore, in that domain, there is not even a question of a swift, delayed, or immediate response. Anyways, better late than never. It is my firm belief you recalled this proverb and maintained your composure, and you will do so in the future too. Hari Guru Vaishnava Tinera Smarana Hoy Vigna Vinashan. Remembrance of Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas destroys all obstacles. In Chunchura, a spiritual sangaram, a center for practicing and preaching pure devotion, is very close to you, to where you live, and you have gained the opportunity to hear recitations of Harikatha from the mouths of pure devotees. Know that this itself is Sri Bhagavan's special favor upon you. Hearing and reciting the Guru and Vaishnavas bears infinite auspiciousness for the conditioned souls. That's why sadhus and Shastra instruct, Vaishnavera gunagan koride jivera tran. Singing the Vaishnav's qualities affects the deliverance of the conditioned soul. The speciality of the Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya's process of bhajan is that when living in Vraj, they are thinking of Navadvip Dham at every moment. And when living in the Navavan, the nine forests of Gauda Bhumi, they remain immersed in remembering the forests of Vraj. Therefore, Srila Narottam Thakur and Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur have sung verses such as Shri Gora Mandala Bhumi Jeva Jane Chintamani Dar Hoy braja bhumi vas. Those who know that land of Sri Gauramandal to be touched attain residence in the land of Vraj. Boro kripa kori Gauravana majhe godrume diyacho stan. Agya dila more e braje bosi harinama korogan. Okay. Having great mercy on me, he has given me a place in Godrum and ordered me to sit in this Vraj and sing the names of Hari. Meditation on service is bhajan, and wherever you have the opportunity to do so, become Sri Vrindavan or Sri Navadip Dham. Jai dina grihe bhajana deki grihete goloka bhai. The day I see bhajan in my home, it becomes Golok. Besides the sincere yearning to serve Sri Guru and Vaishnavas, there is nothing else we should pray for. It is only by the power of their mercy that all the anarthas and aparads in our hearts are eradicated. Our only resort is to beg for the mercy of the devotees and Sri Bhagavan. Weeping pitifully is the only means to attain causeless mercy. Karuna na hoile kandiya kandiya prana nara kiboyara. If you do not have mercy on me, I will not maintain my life anymore. O Lord, whether you punish me or have mercy on me, I have no refuge but you in this material existence. Whether you hurl hundreds of millions of thunderbolts upon me or grant me the purest water, this devotee will wait anxiously and eagerly like a swallow. Will wait anxiously and eagerly like a swallow for the water of your mercy. Srila Bhakti-Rakshaka quote that verse a lot. This is the mood and message of one who is praying for mercy. Causeless mercy and unconditional surrender are interconnected, like a body and its parts. Spiritual practice and mercy, both are necessary simultaneously. If one is lacking, it is impossible to attain perfection. To regard Sri Guru and Vaishnavas as mortals is the attitude of the offensive and hell-bound. Sri Guru and Vaishnavas never reap the results of karma. Souls who are enamored with Maya see that their behavior resembles that of mortal beings and lose their faith. Scripture therefore utters this cautionary message. Jato deko Vaishnavera vyavahara duk, nishchoy janiho seho parananda suk. Know that whatever distress you observe in Vaishnavas is surely the most blissful happiness. They are not overwhelmed by the transience of heat, cold, rain, etc., like those aggrieved by the threefold miseries of this realm, and they tolerate it all with a smile on their face. Because they are not absorbed in material objects, they have equal regard for friends and enemies, and consider praise and insult to be equal. However, when the sevak or sadhak is serving and worshipping Sri Guru and Bhagavan, he draws on his personal bhav seva, or feelings of service. By preparing meals and designing dresses and ornaments suitable for winter or summer, his heart's natural simple inclinations manifest. This fosters moods of sneha, tender affection, mamata, possessive attachment, and vatsalya bhav, parental instincts. In the absence of beholding the Lord face to face, the bhakta attains eternal vision of Sri Bhagavan through the transcendental moods of dasya, sakya, vatsalya, etc. Know that both pratyaksha, direct, and aparoksha darshan, inner vision, are eternal. There is a difference of heaven and hell between the union and separation of this world and the corresponding phenomena of sambhog and vibhava bhav. Vaishnava philosophers have accepted that of the two, the experience of separation is sweeter and superior to that of meeting. Such truths cannot be grasped if there is egotism, lack of faith, and hypocrisy. This is really interesting. Anyways, I'm going to take some quotes from this later on. Oops, dang it. I can do this after. No, I'm not going to do it after. I'm always too lazy to do it after. Sorry, one second. This is from letter 18. And this is the last letter. We're almost finished, by the way. Okay. Okay. Such truths cannot be grasped if there is egotism, lack of faith, and hypocrisy. Yami, the indwelling supersoul, reserves the right to deal mercy or punishment by revealing or concealing himself. The mercy and punishment of Sri Guru and Vaishnavas are synonymous. That is why the terms Sneha Shashan, loving chastisement, and Kripa Danda, merciful punishment, have been used in scripture. Those whose very lives are for the welfare of all souls and whose constant predispositions are that of acute empathy for the suffering of others have the same intent, whether offering discipline or pronouncing a curse. This is nice. Differences in service and competence dictate the differences in how the truth appears in the hearts of the sadhaks and sadhikas in different ways. This is tattva and siddhanta, a fundamental truth and conclusion. If one accepts authority, then there is no more reason to fear anything. Therefore, there is no question of creating discontent in Guru and Vaishnavas. Only in the case of souls who have not sought shelter is there a place for fear and offense, because they have not accepted authority. This is great. One second, let me just say this also. All right. 18. Okay. You are truly fortunate to have had the opportunity to visit holy places in the company of sadhus. Many people visit holy places, but the fact that the fruit of a holy place is the company of sadhus, tirtha phala sadhus, is a matter unknown to many. It is only as a result of saintly company that one becomes acquainted with the differences and specialities between tirthas or holy places and Sri Dham, the Lord's own abode. Indulgent and sportive, mankind fancy themselves as globetrotters and agreed to satiate their senses, whereas the devotees embrace environments that are favorable to the performance of bhajan and thereby become blessed. What's a globetrotter? Globetrotter is a person who travels widely. Oh, globetrotter. Did I say globetrotter? Globetrotter. It's like, what the heck is that? Okay. Gauri amar jisabastane karo brahmana range se sabastana heri boyami pranay bhakata sange. And the accompanying devotees, I will see all the places that my Shri Gaur cheerfully roamed. This is what constitutes the pada sevana, limb of bhakti, for those who are keen on performing bhajan. Should they perform parikrama of Sri Dham, the conditioned souls are released from their bondage of illusion, and transcendental attachment for Sri Bhagavan is born. Vijaya je priti be achaye amara se mata priti ho charane tomara. May I have the kind of love I have for the objects of the senses, for your lotus feet. This is what the devotees who are circumambulating Sri Dham pray for. Hey, there's a gap here. Not even letting me select this. What the heck? Anyways. All this. Okay. There is no need for any sort of wisdom or knowledge in writing a letter. The mind's natural, simple expression manifests through the medium of the letter. Mood and language are the letter's vehicle. It does not care for any sort of academic qualification. Moreover, for a father, his child's half-garbled babbling is most delightful, in that neither flaw nor quality is taken into account. Therefore, there is no criterion by which to determine qualification or disqualification in this regard. Oh, that's so sweet. How do I gain auspiciousness? In order to know and understand this, one seeks guidance or the acceptance of Sri Guru. This is what is called submission. If this sort of mood stays in the heart, a person can attain ultimate benefit. Your sincerity and firm conviction in service will fortify you in life. Iti, your eternal well-wisher, Shri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. All right, that's our reading for today. Well, not for today. I'll probably read later on in the day. I don't know what time, though. If you're in our WhatsApp group, I will announce it when I'm going live. Yes, Radha. Oops, it's not showing the whole quote, but I'll just read it out. Yeah, the full verse that Srila Vāmana Gosvāmī Maharaj quoted is, I'll just read the translation. But it's, O Lord of the poor, do what you like with me. Give me either mercy or punishment. But in this world, I have none to look to except your lordship. The chatak bird always prays for the cloud, regardless of whether it showers rains or throws a thunderbolt. Thanks for sharing that, Rohit Radha Krishna Prabhu. Just save this last quote. All right. So, see you all later on sometime today. Thank you for proofreading with me. Also, if you ever see any mistakes that I read over, mention them in the comments. You could also be proofreading this book with me. All right. Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Srila Vāmana Gosvāmī Maharaj. Hari Bol. This is a really fun system. I want to do this. I'm not sure if I'm really allowed to do this. I'm kind of just doing it, and hopefully I don't get in trouble. I did mention it, and nobody seemed to have a problem with it in the publications. But proofreading books, no, I think after a book is offered, then we can do this kind of thing. But until the book has been offered, I'm not really allowed to proofread any online. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun doing this, not just proofreading by myself, but doing it with all of you. Hari Bol Rukmini. Thanks for joining me. Jai Shri Radhe. See you later.